to watch those movies. You love the sound. You're always engrossed. Most times we don't quite notice the sound because it works so well, tells a story, and you find yourself either crying or on the edge of your seat or your heart is palpitating. It's because the audio is doing a great job. We used to have silent films then. Yes, it was interesting, but nothing compared. I remember Charlie Chaplin and the rest. Nothing compared to what we have right now, particularly with the richness of the sound. So we're diving deep into this. Yes, it's been all hard conversations. So let's go soft a bit and talk about Nollywood and, well, the work that goes behind it. We're joined on the program today by someone, you may have seen him there doing what he knows to do best. His name is Tolu Obanro. Tyanx, let me say the one you know. Tyanx is right here with us in the studio.
So
film composer, music producer, the list goes on and on. Tyanx, good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
For a lot of people that watch movies, they just watch the movie and take it for granted that everything was follow come. You know, you just shot the movie and you produce it and then it's out. But apparently a lot of work goes through it.
Yes.
Once the movie is shot, there's now a lot of work done on the sound itself.
Yes.
The audio, the music, what's that word again? When you compose music, the composing,
the
scoring, and then the sound itself, the effects. You have to ensure. We saw you doing something with files.
Yeah.
So maybe walk us through what was happening there with files, because a lot of people just saw him holding something. I think what's going on.
Okay, so that's an ADR. So it's just dialogue replacement.
Right?
Yes. So it's more like you go on set, do all this recording, then because people are just around grabbing chairs, trying to give direction and trying to be part of it, they kind of tend to like have noise on that particular mic and on that scene. So you just go back and like, okay, you have to enact what you did before, like try to get the act together, the voice and everything, and just re-record that and then replace it perfectly.
So that's what happens.
Yes.
As I said, some people just think it's follow-up. I remember seeing a video of a lady, I think in the US, and the work she does trying to reenact that. Get different materials together, get metal together, wood, scratch things just to reenact that. And how intense is it? Because we're just seeing that video, but we don't know how intense it really is for you. What do you have to do to ensure that the audio comes out well?
Okay.
And maybe tell us some of the works you.
It's always a lot of work, and then when I was going to come into Nollywood, I thought that I wasn't going to do it the regular way, like everybody would do it, and I'd been doing stuff like just do this scene for someone, I'll do this scene and I'll move on. But my very first full movie, I think I did scenes on King of Boys 1 and 2. I did scenes on like a lot of movies. Wow. And the very, very first one I did all by myself was King of Thieves. So I thought of it like, okay, if this is a Yoruba movie, the normal thing would be have people just play talking to everybody. I'm like, that can't be rich enough. That can't be international enough. So I thought of it like, okay, what can I do better? And then I spoke to the director. It was like you are free to do anything. Think Troy. Think King of Rings, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
And I was like, okay, this is like total freedom, like very irregular from what film people in Nollywood will tell you. And I made that, and that was the start. I don't think I've had a break since then.
So how do you, permit me, I'll take the question the way I said it. Mm-hmm. How do you develop a sound mind?
I understand that. So, for every scene, there's a way you need to feel. You need to be able to interpret that scene the way you want people to feel it. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. If I have somebody say, I'm going to deal with you tonight, and then the sound under it is Tom and Jerry, like this person is just joking. Right. And that same tone is somebody who says, I'm going to deal with you tonight, and you have like, this guy is going to die. So you have to be able to create the mind of trying to interpret exactly what is on your screen and you want people to feel. So it's more like you immerse yourself in that feeling. Think about the sound that will help people feel it even without seeing it, and then you might just be able to communicate perfectly.
So what do you look at what do you look at to create a sound? Do you look at the scripts, or you wait for the production to be done and then you will move scene by scene? How do you create your process?
So I'm very sure that if I stick to one way of doing it, then I won't sound different on every film. So it's always very different. Some is from the script. Let me start with maybe House of Secrets was from the script. Just reading the script, I came up with the theme sound that sounded like, okay, this is secrets unveiling, somebody cutting from the past into the future and into the present and thinking about the future. That made me like think of, okay, so what do I do with this sound? And I made a sound that I couldn't even use in the movie, but interpreted the movie well. So, and for some, I want to be on set. Fine. Music and sound is supposed to be post-production, but, you know, for some movies, for example, Jagu Jagun, I insisted on being on set and they made it happen. And before I left that set, I was able to generate sounds that I wouldn't even get when I get back to Lagos. It was deep in the village in Oyo. So from the locals, I was able to record things. From the warriors that came, from the actors, I was just recording random things and processing in my mind that, okay, what can I now use this for? It's not like I said, okay, it's not like I planned that when I get there, I'll record this, then I'll use it for this. But as I was recording, I was thinking, I was brooding, I was just, you know, calculating in my mind. And when I got back to Lagos, it was just all good and easy.
I have a question about your sources, but I think I'd just like to go straight to this one, you know, which is more akin to inspiration. So before there came a Tunde Obanro, there was a Sami Opozo.
That's my brother's name. Tunde Obanro.
Okay, what's your first name, by the way? Obanro is your Tolu Obanro. Okay, so I'm in the same terrain. So there was a late Sami Opozo, there was a Stanley Okorie. You know, these are fathers of soundtrack in the movie industry, Nollywood to be precise. I wonder if you get any inspiration from them. Did you have any encounter with them? Did they shape you in any way or form?
Okay, so I would like to state this clearly. There's a difference between being a singer and being a film composer and a soundtrack person for films. I'm sure those we just mentioned are very great legends, but of songs, of singing. Composition in Nigeria, we can take it as far back as, you know, possible. I can think maybe Dr. Bayo. Dr. Bayo did a lot of work. He did Union Bank, Big Strong, Reliable, Milo, Papapa since 1988. Those are like the Nigerian legends, if you want to talk about that. Then outside you talk about Zimar, then the guy that did Black Panther. Those are film scores and soundtrack and compositions. If you check Black Panther, for example, we now had Tyanx sing, Burna Boy sing, and Fireboy did a song too. Those are singers on a project that a music composer is working on. And it's just not a surprise that Nigerians, even the great media, I mean, I'm talking about people that even do ours, get that wrong. And I think it's because it's still a very growing part of the Nollywood industry, and I think very soon everybody will understand it.
So between the composer of the music theme and the soundtrack person, who does the final consolidation of sound work for the movie?
So if a movie is like very big budget, there will be a music supervisor.
Okay.
But Nollywood, I don't think we have that yet. So it's always the final mix engineer. The music person is going to place it where he thinks it should be. The sound designer, those are for the Foleys, your footsteps, your slaps, your everything, your SFX, all that will be placed where it's supposed to be by those people. The dialogue will already be treated because it won't go in just the way it came from set. It will be selected and treated and all that. Then the final mix engineer, we bring that together, put it at the level that is meant to be for the broadcast that is meant to be for. For example, if it's going to the cinemas, you have 5.1. If it's like a bigger cinema, you have your Dolby Atmos. If it's going for Netflix, you have different types of formats. So that would be the work of the mix engineer, putting it together.
It's very interesting to see your... And I think it's important to also break these things down.
Yes.
Because again, the end user or the end consumer just sees a movie and thinks, okay, someone sang on it, so obviously that's the whole thing. The same person that did the sound and all of that. It's really tough for them to break down the process, understandably. That's not their field. But your progression has been very interesting as well in this industry. So maybe why a lot of people will see you as maybe music producer more, because you've done a lot of music production as well, particularly in the gospel scene. Yes. I think you've sang too.
Once.
Exactly.
That didn't go well.
It's okay. We consume it. We think you did great. So essentially, you then moved and transitioned into film composing. And seeing the work you do, obviously, it's something you picked or you built from those experiences. Yes. Now you can do this on a bigger scale. You've learned how to play with sound, how to know what sounds right where. And just before you come in, I'm just looking at the work you've done. It's brilliant, the works you've done. You mentioned some of them. King of Boys, 2021. Gang of Thieves in 2022. Brotherhood.
Yes.
Yeah, you worked on that. King of Thieves as well. You said that. Gangs of Lagos. Jagun Jagun, you referenced that. A Tribe Called Judah.
So
a lot of people that watched.
I hope you got your money.
Yeah, I did.
So there you go.
That's nice.
Oh, that's good. Fantastic. Mikolo as well. The House of Secrets. Ada Omomomi. Is it
Amo Daddy?
Is it Ada Omomomi?
Yeah, it has to be about Ada.
That's to be about Daddy.
We're watching on Ada Omomomi, right? So Ada Omo Daddy as well. So you have a lot of work under your belt, and I'd like you to speak to this whole back and forth about whether or not we can really prosecute sound here in Nigeria. Do we have to take the work there or get people there to do that work? Do we have enough capacity here in Nigeria? Well, it sounds like a no-brainer question, but speak to that.
So amazingly, we have like a lot of talents. I'm trying to like build my team, and each time I reach out, I see very, very wonderful people that people can actually trust with their jobs and, you know, get it done. I think we have the capacity to like build, but I also think budget is a very, very important factor that makes people just like, okay, this is better, I'll give it to, I don't want to stress. Also, the number of works you've done and all that. But I think I've done a slightly Hollywood job since. I think we have the capacity to also export this service. You know, I mean, people get a lot of fundings. We might need fundings because, I mean, you have to buy stuff, you have to pay people. At times I think about a 100-man band and I can just raise it. It's not because people are not available, but it's because, okay, the budget of that movie will not let me, so I'll start thinking for 100-man. So, I mean, I'm getting used to that also. I'm thinking of someday doing something that's big and of that scale.
So let's talk financials. I'm not going to ask you how much you collected from the blockbuster $1 billion or 1 billion naira. Let me say
over 1 billion naira.
Over 1 million naira.
Sorry, Jeffrey. Did you get extra, by the way, after you hit the box office?
You will get extra.
It's not done. You got extra, not me.
It's still in the box office, so I'm sure when it's done, I'll be called.
So you're going to get extra?
Yes, I will.
So let's talk about the model. What will be more sustainable for you and for everyone in your space? Because you guys are the guys behind the scene. A lot of people just see the actors. They're the ones that go to sign endorsement, make all these monies because, you know, people see them in terms of brand awareness. But a lot of people will not know who is behind the sound or who is behind the makeup and all of that. So you're speaking for yourself now as well as those who are coming behind you. What model works better for sustainability? Is it one-off payment, or are we beginning to do things like royalties so that as Jagun Jagun or what's a Tribe Called Judah grows in the box office? As it keeps growing, you begin to get your royalties. So royalties or one-off payment, which works better?
So Nigeria, for now, to the best of my knowledge, we don't do royalties on movies, but I get royalty on my sounds, not on the movie. So, like, for example, let's say Gangs of Lagos, I got my music back, I could upload it. I mean, people can like go there and stream. Then I have splits between the people that really did the singing, for some that have songs on them, you know, like that. A lot of those songs, every music, every composition from until I have my cut, and yeah, it's been rewarding. I mean, space for fuel.
And, okay, Kadi, you have one more question.
I just wanted to, maybe when you're done, tell us what to expect this year. Is there something big you're working on and the rest will come?
Yeah, so go ahead and answer.
Thank God I'm almost booked for the year.
Like totally booked for the year.
Almost booked for the year.
This is February.
Yeah,
It's February.
So
I know how many your calendar is.
jobs I'm getting and now I'm just trying to fix them somewhere. If I'm not going to take a new job for the year, I'll keep working till December.
Wow, that's awesome.
So
Life is good. This economy is not touching you.
And coupled with the potential extra that you're getting from a tribe called Judah, I'd really like to be your PA. So maybe we can talk about that after the show. But we'd like to thank you.
Yes, there are very big titles. There's an epic I'm working on. I'm not allowed to say the title yet.
But won't tell anybody though.
I won't tell anybody too. So there are some big movies I'm working on. I'm not sure. I'm not allowed to state any of that yet. So I'm just thinking if there's anyone I can talk about yet. But
we'll wait. You give us 6 weeks.
I just like this idea that I'm booked for the year. It sounds so nice, man.
It's really nice.
Well, we're also booked for the year. We're going to book
Tolu, success has many, many relatives. Thank you so much. We'll talk about me being your PA after this segment. Up next is that crucial semi-final with South Africa. Super Eagles against South Africa. We'll be drumming up support for our beloved Big Bird. So stick around for the last leg of our conversation. We'll be right back. Thank you very much, by the way. Tolu.